24 hours removed from that football game on Sunday. I'm working on, my 10 takeaways post for tomorrow. So I 24 hours removed from that football game on Sunday. I'm working on, my 10 takeaways post for tomorrow. So I try to dig into the game a little bit and relive some of that stuff. Obviously, there's been a lot that you've been.
Have you been keeping up with Shedeur in Cleveland? What's the best piece of advice you've given him as a dad and as a coach?
Be patient and be ready. You got to be ready when it's time. But when it's time, you're going to know. And it's coming up.
There we go.
I got a prediction. I ain't telling nobody. I got a feeling when it's going to go down. But it's going to go down this year.
It's going to happen. All right.
Mary Kay Cabot just dropped a bombshell, leaking reports that the Browns are planning to start Shedeur Sanders early, before Dillon Gabriel even settles in. And now the internet's melting down. Did Cleveland really sideline their so-called future QB for Deion's son before Week 1? Nobody knows if it's strategy or straight-up chaos. But one thing's certain. This leak just threw the entire Browns quarterback situation into absolute turmoil. The drama's only getting started.
So behind the scenes, as a human being, he's doing a phenomenal job that way. And then he's working really hard. He's got a tremendous work ethic, and he's working really hard to pick up the things that he needs to, and that's all the pre-snap stuff. He's got to figure out how to call the play in the huddle, how to work on the protections and the motions and all of those things that happen pre-snap. Post-snap, he's doing great. I mean, he's got a really nice ball. He's got a really nice arm. He puts nice touch on it. He's very, very accurate, and I think he's earning more reps. I think they have to be really, really happy with what they're seeing with him.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The Cleveland Browns may have just done the most Cleveland thing imaginable, turning what should have been a routine quarterback rollout into primetime drama. Dillon Gabriel's long-awaited debut was supposed to mark a new era for the franchise, but instead, it's become instant meme material. One game in, and the future of the team already looks like the latest chapter in Cleveland's ongoing quarterback chaos.
Glory be, Shedeur Sanders is actually going to get his shot this year in Cleveland.
Woo!
That's what just happened. This was the owner stepping in, Jimmy Haslam, saying, I've seen enough. I want to see both the rookie quarterbacks play football this year for the Cleveland Browns. So Dillon Gabriel will get his shot because he's second on the depth chart. But I promise you, Jimmy Haslam will make sure that Shedeur gets some starts this year sooner than later.
And now, Mary Kay Cabot just unleashed a bombshell big enough to make Browns fans forget about Deshaun Watson's contract, at least for a few precious minutes. That alone says everything. One rough loss later, and Cleveland's rumor mill has gone into overdrive, churning out wild theories and quarterback conspiracies. What started as post-game frustration has officially turned into a full-blown QB carousel. Because, well, that's just how things go in Cleveland.
Shedeur is way better than Dillon Gabriel. He just is. If Shedeur had started from the start, game 1 against Cincinnati at home, they would be the talk of the NFL right now because I look at the fourth quarter yesterday, they go 0 for 4 on third down because Dillon was playing not to lose. Don't throw it to them, don't put it on the ground. And he did a great job of that. But on one of those third downs, you have to try to make a play to win the football game. And trust me, no matter what Stefanski called, Shedeur would try to win the football game because it's how he was raised. You're going to...
Reports are flying that the Browns are already gearing up to fast-track Shedeur Sanders. Yes, Deion's prodigy, the kid with swagger as sharp as his arm, straight into the starting job. And you can almost feel the panic pulsing through Cleveland as fans try to pretend this isn't another full-blown reboot. Spoiler, it totally is.
Touch on the Mindgate thing, where I still think it's the most overplayed, ridiculous story, and the reaction to it on both sides were crazy to me. Like, there was just nothing measured about that conversation. It was just a lot of people yelling at each other online. The funniest theory I had about it, though, was that Shedeur was taking the Browns literally. That the Browns told Shedeur, we don't want you talking about this. Just say no comment or just say I'm happy for Dillon. And then that maybe he took them literally. So here's the verbiage in the Ian Rappaport piece. Sources say Sanders had a discussion with team officials that his approach to the media session was a message that got lost in translation.
See, this was supposed to be Gabriel's coming out party. His I told you I belong here moment. Instead, it turned into the kind of game where even the scoreboard felt embarrassed. The first half teased potential, a couple of solid drives, some decent rhythm, and then poof, like a magician with stage fright, Gabriel's confidence vanished. By the third quarter, he looked like he was playing Madden on rookie mode with the controller unplugged. And that's where things started to unravel. Accuracy gone, composure missing, footwork somewhere between panic and prayer. The Vikings defense didn't just expose his flaws, they made a documentary out of them. You could almost hear the Minnesota pass rush whisper, "Welcome to the NFL, kid," right before tossing him onto the turf for the 5th time. But Cleveland fans, bless their eternally suffering hearts, still tried to find a silver lining. It's just one game, they said. He needs time to adjust. Unfortunately, time isn't something the Browns ever handle well. And as soon as Mary Kay Cabot's report hit the airwaves, the entire fan base started side-eyeing the coaching staff like, "Wait, you've been cooking up what behind the scenes?" Because apparently, while Gabriel was busy overthrowing receivers into the next time zone, Shedeur Sanders was quietly building his legend behind closed doors. The whispers started small. He's looking sharp in practice. The chemistry's there. He's got the poise.
That Shedeur is the people's choice.
Yep.
He knows that Shedeur is the most popular and famous third-string quarterback in NFL history. And he knows he's got to give him a shot this year to take some of the stink and focus off what the Cleveland Browns have been. I'm going to go purchase a number 12 Cleveland jersey.
Me too.
Seriously.
Let me know what color you get so I can get the opposite one.
And now, it's snowballed into full-blown quarterback chaos. You'd think the Browns were hiding a secret weapon all along, when really, they might just be trying to survive another PR nightmare. And let's talk about this secret plan Mary Kay supposedly leaked. Imagine finding out your team's long-term strategy through an insider drop before your starter even finishes unpacking his locker. Only in Cleveland. According to the insiders, the Browns aren't just impressed with Shedeur, they're ready for him. Like not in the future ready, we're talking next game if things get ugly again ready. Which raises the question, what exactly did Dillon Gabriel do to speedrun himself out of favor this fast? The answer? Everything the Browns feared and nothing they hoped for. The timing was off. The pocket awareness looked allergic to pressure and the turnovers. Oh, the turnovers. By the end of the game, fans weren't just booing. They were drafting apology letters to Baker Mayfield. It's wild, really. One week, Gabriel was supposed to be the calm, mature alternative to chaos. The next week, he is the chaos. And the timing couldn't be worse because right behind him is Shedeur Sanders, who has somehow become the most talked about guy in the building without throwing a single regular season pass. You can feel it. The shift, the energy, the eye contact in practice that says, "It's almost my time."
Let me be very honest with you about Shedeur Sanders, who now has graphics like this being put up. Shedeur Sanders should be the Browns' #1 quarterback. Is the conversation warranted? Kinda. But when I look at this Browns situation with quarterbacks, we know Shedeur is not #1 on paper, and I don't know if this preseason game puts him over the edge. Shedeur Sanders is not the #1 quarterback that they even chose in this draft. That quarterback is Dillon Gabriel. He has a hamstring injury, has not played yet. Kenny Pickett, who has started a ton of games in the NFL, did not play yet, a hamstring injury. Joe Flacco on the roster, has a Super Bowl, has won so many playoff games and regular season games, and he's a grown man. He doesn't need to play.
And poor Joe Flacco. The man's been demoted so many times he might start bringing his own folding chair to the sideline. Once upon a time, he was the steady veteran presence. Now he's one overthrown pass away from being the guy, holding the clipboard for a rookie half his age. It's not personal. It's just the Browns doing Browns things. The irony here is delicious. Gabriel spent the week talking about focus and leadership, how he tunes out the noise and plays for the team. Noble words, until you realize the noise he tuned out was his offensive line screaming, "Pressure," every other snap. Because once the Vikings' defense started closing in, it looked less like leadership and more like someone trying to file an escape plan mid-play. The commentators tried to stay positive, bless them. But by the time Gabriel fumbled for the second time, the optimism had officially packed its bags. Cleveland's offense stalled like a bad used car, and suddenly everyone in the building remembered there's another quarterback waiting in the wings who doesn't flinch under pressure and might actually hit an open receiver. And that's when Mary Kay Cabot lit the match. Her report didn't just leak a plan, it launched a movement. Suddenly, social media turned into a Browns civil war. Half the fans yelling, "Give Shedeur the keys!" The other half clinging to Gabriel like a security blanket that's clearly on fire. And somewhere in the middle, Kevin Stefanski's probably staring at his depth chart like it's a breakup text.
Shedeur might be a little bit more time, but I do believe Shedeur Sanders will play this year.
I mean, I think at this point for Cleveland, you just got to try your guys out. Gabriel was definitely the right move. I mean, you know, if they wanted to, that pressure from the media, obviously they go with Shedeur, but, you know, Dillon Gabriel was drafted in the 3rd round before Shedeur. So it only makes sense to, and Dillon Gabriel is not a bad QB. Like,
no matter what, Cleveland's gonna see what they got because they're gonna have 2 first-round picks next year, so they can like move up if they need to go get after a quarterback. Which, by the way, I was talking to Moti yesterday. I was like, man, this draft class is terrible. The quarterbacks to me,
But make no mistake, this isn't just about one bad game. This is about what Cleveland's been craving for years: a quarterback they can believe in, not tolerate, not excuse, believe. Someone who doesn't crumble when the pocket does. Someone who brings swagger without the drama. And in Shedeur Sanders, they might actually have that. Because let's be real, the kid's been a headline since high school. His dad is literally Deion Sanders, which means charisma is basically in his DNA. He's confident, polished, and unbothered. Everything Gabriel wasn't when the lights came on. Word from inside the Browns facility is that players are already gravitating toward him. Receivers are staying late for extra reps. Linemen are talking about his calm in the huddle. Even the equipment staff's probably like, yeah, this guy just feels different. And that's how revolutions start in the NFL. Not with a big announcement, but with quiet momentum. The kind that builds every time the current starter throws another pick. You can almost sense the locker room shifting. That unspoken understanding. If we're going to fix this, it's going to be with him. It's poetic in a way. The Browns might have stumbled into the one thing they've been chasing for decades. A fresh start that actually feels like a fresh start. Not a recycled veteran, not a one-year experiment, but a potential franchise quarterback who hasn't been chewed up by the system yet.
Mentioned one like this, which is to tell Shedeur fans, hey, we're going to play your guy at some point this year. Just be patient. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people think like myself. It's like, yeah, Jimmy Haslam already told us he was going to play this year. You know, like if you just listen to Jimmy Haslam, we'd have both quarterbacks be playing. I know in the past couple weeks, though, I became a little bit more hesitant to the idea that he actually would see the field because there just became a part of me that wondered if they were just going to. I honestly didn't know that they'd move away from Flacco as early as they did, even though I kept telling everyone after 4 weeks is when they had to like actually figure that out. I just didn't know that they'd actually do it. It's what I would do. I was surprised they actually did it.
Of course, this being Cleveland, there's still a 50-50 chance they find a way to mess it up by Tuesday. Still, the buzz is impossible to ignore. Shedeur's confidence isn't arrogance, it's control. He's not talking about leading, he's showing it. Film sessions that run late, practice reps that look cleaner every week, chemistry with receivers that Gabriel never quite found. It's all adding up. You can tell the team feels it, even if they're pretending everything's business as usual. Meanwhile, Gabriel's sitting in press conferences talking about process and focus, which is just football speak for, please don't bench me yet. And honestly, you almost feel bad for him. Almost. Because this is how the NFL works. One week you're the savior, the next you're a cautionary tale. And the moment fans start using your name in past tense, it's over. Even the analysts can smell blood in the water. Rex Ryan basically implied that if Shedeur had been under center, the Browns wouldn't have lost that game, which is analyst code for bench this guy before he breaks something else. And when Mary Kay Cabot starts dropping early start rumors, it's not speculation anymore. That's usually step one of a public transition plan disguised as internal evaluation. The locker room politics here are fascinating too. Joe Flacco's veteran presence is nice and all, but he's starting to look like a living museum exhibit. Here we have an actual Super Bowl MVP from a simpler time when the Browns still had hope.
Reason to maybe not say he's going to be QB1 right now. Next thing, Shedeur Sanders has always played well in games that he should. Games where he's not going against starters in the NFL. He didn't go against starters. College, he's got a perfect system for him to really be successful. I want to see Shedeur in a situation where it's not perfect. Now look, I'm a Shedeur guy. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I think he will translate well to the NFL. But right now, I just want to see a little bit more. Week 1, the Browns open up against the Bengals. The Browns don't just have a cakewalk divisional schedule. They're playing great.
The guy's probably mentoring Shedeur without realizing he's mentoring his own replacement. It's brutal, but that's football. Now the Browns front office is stuck in that classic NFL dilemma. Play it safe or make the leap. Do you risk your rookie's confidence by throwing him into chaos? Or risk losing the season by waiting too long? Fans are impatient, the media is circling, and the players are whispering, and nothing fuels an NFL storyline like the phrase, "inside sources say." If Cleveland really is preparing to start Shedeur early, they're not just making a quarterback change, they're making a statement. It's a declaration that the old patience routine is over. No more waiting for potential. No more hoping the playbook eventually clicks. They're tired of Band-Aid quarterbacks. They want a franchise face who brings juice, not excuses. And honestly, you can't blame them. After all these years, Browns fans deserve a little chaos that actually leads somewhere. And Shedeur might be that spark. The swagger, the composure, the been-here-before confidence. It's everything this team's been missing. You get the feeling that if he walks onto that field, something changes instantly. The offense moves, the energy shifts. Hope feels real again. Meanwhile, Gabriel's situation is unraveling faster than a cheap jersey seam. His post-game interviews sound like someone reading motivational quotes off a cereal box. The difference between his words and his performance is so big you could park the Browns team bus in it.
But I think Shedeur's the guy they're protecting. I think Dylan, throw him out there. He can play. He's the one. Let's see what you got. But I think Shedeur might be the one that they have their eyes on.
I agree.
As the franchise, right?
Cleveland Browns made the move to start Dylan Gabriel. Was that the right move? And when and if do you think they're gonna move to Shedeur Sanders?
I don't think they should have started him yet, only because of the spot they're in. I would have waited till week 7, I think it was, versus the Dolphins at home.
And you know it's bad when the camera catches your teammates giving you that "we're not mad, just disappointed" look. If you've watched enough Cleveland football, you know this moment. It's the turning point, the calm before the quarterback carousel spins again. But this time it feels different. There's a sense of inevitability. Shedeur isn't some random name off the waiver wire. He's a symbol of what's next. And when your fan base is already chanting his name before he starts a game, you're not fighting the media anymore. You're fighting momentum. Behind closed doors, the decision might already be made. The whispers about early consideration are code for "we're just waiting for the excuse." And with the schedule ahead, it might come sooner than expected. One more flat outing from Gabriel, one more game where the offense looks like a malfunctioning vending machine, and the switch flips. Stefanski might not say it out loud, but you can bet the QB room already feels it. And when that happens, when Shedeur finally gets the nod, the ripple effect will be massive. Every throw will be dissected, every drive magnified. The cameras will pan to Deion Sanders every 5 minutes just to capture the proud dad energy. Cleveland will go from depressed to delusional in record time. And if Shedeur actually delivers, oh, this city's going to lose its mind. But that's the gamble. The Browns are about to roll the dice on a rookie who's been studying, waiting, and quietly building momentum.
Gabriel. Do I think Dylan Gabriel played good? No. Do I think he played bad? No. Do I think he played okay? Yes. He didn't do anything spectacular, but he did what he's supposed to do, I guess. He made mistakes, but we all make mistakes, right? He played better than Flacco. I can definitely say that. Do I think Kevin played to his strengths? Yes, and of course he should.
So now, every practice rep matters. Every warm-up snap, every sideline camera shot, it all feeds the fire. Because if there's one thing Cleveland knows how to do, it's create quarterback drama that doubles as must-see TV. But for once, maybe, just maybe, this chaos leads somewhere worth going. The Browns have tried everything else. Maybe it's time to try the one thing they haven't, trusting the kid who actually looks like he belongs. So here's the real question. Do Do you rip off the Band-Aid and hand Shedeur the reins, or let Gabriel stumble through another week of finding rhythm? Because at this point, the only thing more unpredictable than Cleveland's quarterback situation is Cleveland itself. And maybe that's exactly what makes this so fascinating. Because deep down, every Browns fan knows it's never just a game. It's an adventure, a mystery, and occasionally a comedy. And right now, the star of that comedy might be about to change. Change is coming to Cleveland, whether Gabriel's ready or not. And if Mary Kay Cabot's right, Shedeur Sanders won't just be the next man up. He'll be the headline that rewrites everything.